Hello, and this is the second episode of me ranting on the internet because I'm gonna start making content and I am in my head a lot. Anyway, today we're talking about deepfakes and it's terrifying. I've had a lot of experience with it. I've actually studied the basic principles of how deepfakes work because we've evolved. Before you had to go in and literally go in frame by frame and change every single thing. Now we have programs that can do it for you, but to understand deepfakes, you first have to understand stable diffusion, which is a whole nother thing. It's not AI. It's similar to AI. It works using some of the same principles as an LLM, large language model, but we'll get into that. Okay, so first of all, deepfakes have gotten so much better. Let's check it out before a little teaser before we get into deep stuff.
Took around 72 hours to create this example from scratch using extremely
This was not even the best one. This is like a year ago. So this is the quality you can expect from a deepfake a year ago. See how the lips, I don't know if you guys can see that in
powerful GPU. It could be improved with more computing time, but 90%.
The lips aren't correct. They don't look convincing. Moving on though. Okay, so before we move on, and these are my notes, like I'll be very blunt. I use notes to make videos. I'm not a content creator. This is all brand new to me. And look, I even misspelled deepfakes. But basically, we're talking about what's real anymore. What the fuck is real anymore? When it comes to technology, when it comes to the internet, what can you trust? Case in point, this is my face, this is Tom Cruise's face. We're going to combine them into this monstrosity. As you can see, it's not very convincing though. What I'm really curious about is why it seems like the internet has been scrubbed of all good AI tools. The only ones that are good cost a lot of money. Like, okay, if you have a really good computer, you can make phenomenal deepfakes. They would convince 99% of people. But before we get into that, let's talk about how deepfakes work in the first place. Let me see, duplicate this one. Okay, so yeah, like I said, this is not a good video. This is not a good deepfake. We can do so much better than this. Stable diffusion. How does deepfake works anymore? I'm literally gonna read verbatim. Stable diffusion is a computer program that transforms that static into clear picture based on your instructions. So yeah, literally, it turns a static image, like how you see on the TV, that static, it turns that into a clear picture in steps. Here's how it works in steps. Instead of handling every single pixel of a high-resolution image, that would take a ton of computer power. The program first converts the image into a simpler form called latent space. This is a compressed version that keeps essential details, making it easier and faster to work with. So you start with a box that's like, I don't know, this big, right? You can convert it into something that's this big so the computer can process it more efficiently. That's essentially how that works. You're understanding your text. Your instructions: draw a cool robot in space. Is converted into a set of numbers or features by another tool, a text encoder, that tells the program what kind of image you want. So it'll take this little tiny square of static and you tell it, hey, draw me a dragon. And it does one image first, starts with this image of static, makes another image that's less staticky, then keeps going less staticky, and it just keeps going. It makes each image look more and more like the image. It's an iterative process. I think I got ahead of myself. The program sorts the noisy random image in latent space using a neural network. A neural network is similar to how a normal AI model works, so it's similar, but it's not AI. Using a neural network, often a UNet, it gradually removes the noise in many small steps. Like I said, at each step, it uses the text information to decide how to adjust the image. What guides it from removing the noise, that like randomness, is the text you give it. Removing unwanted noise and adding details that match your instruction. After many iterations, the noise is mostly gone, and what remains is a refined version of the image that represents your idea. The program transforms the simplified latent image back into a full resolution image that you can see. So it makes that final image this small, and then it blows it up back to the size that you want it. Okay, and with that process, it can do things like this. We've gotten to the point where it's video, and this is creepy. This is genuinely creepy because that looks like a child. But look at the consistency. Look at how the pattern, the shadows are fucking accurate. I don't know what else to say, but yeah. This one's amazing too. Yeah, it's silly. It's ridiculous. But look at how the sparks are lighting the forehead, the head. That big old bald head. You see how it's lighting it properly? That shouldn't be possible. This is magic. Like, yes, there's a ton of science behind it, but in essence, this is magic, guys. This one too. Look at her hands, how they cast a shadow on the cup. What the fuck? Look at how she maintains eye contact despite her head moving in frame. Like, that should not be possible. But they've done a lot of tricks. Stable diffusion is on another level. This one, the fact that her face remains consistent, because this was a problem with early AI. The face would not remain, early stable diffusion. The face would morph into different people as it does in action. Not anymore. Like, this is terrifying, guys. Also, like, oh no, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's move on over here. Check it out. This was old AI. This is old deepfakes. And honestly, we could call it AI. It works on the same principles. I fight back against it.
At any point in time.
Jordan Peele created this fake video of President Obama to demonstrate.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point.
The main problem with older versions was it was low quality, and the lips would look wrong. Lips always look wrong. It sounds weird, but our lips have like little tiny freaking muscles that move every which way. That's why AI struggles to recreate that. Our eyes, our nose, all these expressions are a bit more simpler. They rely on less muscles, but our mouths articulate such tiny details that have to match our pronunciation of words that's why AI struggles with it so much. Yeah, and I know this things you don't think about on a daily basis. This is, once again, the video.
Computer and editing.
That's what I said.
It took around 72 hours.
Look at the lips. There is also a kind of deadness to the eyes. Let's check out the real one. See the eyes, the blinking, the cadence is different. But this was a year ago. You want to be terrified? This is probably one of the most recent AI programs, and HeyGen is expensive software. Well, somewhat expensive. But my point is, these tools aren't everywhere online, which makes me wonder if Google is deleting a bunch of this stuff. It's just weird. Let me see. Let me show you guys what's happening.
Much noise out there. And so that's why I curated all of this into.
So this is the real video. And that one's a fake video. Look at how she's moving her hands, expressing her head moves along with it. It bobs. The lips don't look so bad. Okay, let's go back.
Handshake. It's the first impression you give to your podcast.
The voice is flawless. The only flaw I can think of is the hands. Look at the hands.
All of this into a simple step-by-step guide. These days, how you show up online is the new handshake. It's the first impression you give to your podcast audience, your clients, your employees, your students.
Okay, so shout out to Sarah. I'm not even going to try to say that last name. I'm using her video to show you guys what's possible nowadays. But understand that voices, that's out the door. Like, you can fake a voice easily. It's a joke. Don't put any security on voice verification. I think if you looked at the actual files, you would see some sort of like markers that it is an AI, like maybe certain repetitions of vowels or sounds at certain intervals would be a dead giveaway that it's a generated image. But we're reaching the point of, it's like the singularity for fake and real images. Basically a point where humans can no longer detect that it's fake. Like we reached that point with text. We didn't really think we'd reach that point. Now we reached that point with audio. The next step is video. Because images already, like you can, like if you froze that frame, that looks real. What in the world gives it away? Like it's slightly blurry, but that's it. There's even motion blur, for crying out loud. Okay, but yeah, so social media is, I've asked ChatGPT to look into it. If social media is censoring some of this stuff, it is. But some of it is being allowed to be out there. And it's going to reach a point where you can't tell if someone's real or not within months, if not a year. Because this grows at an exponential rate. There's dozens of people who would benefit greatly if this took off. Imagine being able to create hundreds of hours of content that you are basically guaranteed will blow up by following templates just to replace the person. Like, let's say there's a script that almost guarantees engagement. The only problem is you can't use the same exact person, but you can generate 20 people who are good looking, because let's be real, people use that to gauge whether they're going to like a video or not. And then you create 20 variations of the same exact video, you create 20 different pages, and they all blow up. This is scary, guys. Again, I had to look online, like, all right, is this being censored? And look what happens when I type in deepfake. When I type in deepfake, no results found on Instagram. Now and this one's kind of funny, a little inappropriate, but so deepfake is censored, but not that, really? But also look, so if I type it in partially, it does show up, but it is being censored. Let's check this one out. See, they made a Trump into a wrestler. Look at that. That looks pretty damn amazing. The only thing that gives it away is the quality. Are you guys ready for this? That's honestly the main thing of this. I'm just trying to tell you guys, like, wake the fuck up. Yeah, wake the fuck up. We're so not ready for this, guys. But yeah, this is the future. And the few other talking points I wanted to hit. I've used this. I know how scary it is. We're reaching a point of no return. We're going to reach that singularity where humans can no longer tell whether something is real or not. You would have to dig into the actual pixels to find out if it's real or not. And I think there's going to reach a point where even computers can't tell. Because every image has noise, and noise is generated by the environment. And that's essentially what can give it away, whether it's real or not. Or like, if something's wrong in proportions, then you can tell something's off, because human beings follow certain rules when it comes to proportions. So, like, there's going to be a science to determining whether something's real or not, because humans are not going to be able to. Oh, well, a few things I did want to talk about. What about other countries? Like developing ones. Like, what if you could blackmail all your political opponents to back out of a race because you have fake images of them doing something explicit or incorrect, and like your country's not developed enough to know that, like, the vast majority of people just don't know that that thing exists. Like, this is a weapon. It's literally a weapon, and I can't stress that enough. Also, child porn, which I hate that we can't say the real word because this isn't a joke. That's going to become a thing. And the excuses that they're going to use is probably going to be something along the lines of, oh, well, it's fake. Who is it hurting? I like this quote that says, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So if you keep looking at certain disgusting shit, you're going to want to do disgusting shit. Sorry, it makes me mad. Makes me mad because this is going to become trivialized. It's going to become up. Fuck, this is going to be so important in the next 5-10 years. Maybe even 2-3 years. this kind of shit's gonna wake the fuck up, guys. Get off your phones, interact with people, live a real life. Wake the fuck up. This technology where we can't differentiate between real and fake videos and images and records, like historical records, or like if I can generate an image that depicts the Nazis riding dinosaurs, I can convince a whole group of people that fucking dinosaurs existed and were part of the World War II. Like there are people who want to believe that kind of shit, who want to believe in the fantastical things. We've introduced retrograde amnesia or dementia to society by creating this technology. And by that, I mean, if you take an individual, you strip away his ability of knowing what's true in the past. Audio, visual, he remembers it incorrectly, right? That's essentially what we did to society as a whole. Society as a whole can no longer differentiate between real and fake anymore, or within the next few years. So how does a person like that operate? How do we survive? How do we live? It's just scary stuff, guys. It's very scary stuff. Please be aware of all this. Tell other people about this. Beef up your security. Have code words. Some random person calls you or your grandma and they sound like your cousin. No. Ask them about something personal that only they would know about. Have conversations with others that suck, but will help you guys understand the future that's coming pretty soon. And by the way, I gotta fix my camera setup because I'm looking right here because that's where I'm looking at myself, but I should be talking to the camera, but that's just a tangential idea that popped into my head. Okay, I think I've reached the end of this. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you guys. If you did, please like and follow. Yeah, all that crap. But yeah, a like on this video would be really appreciated. I'll see you guys next time.